Keep in mind, this is America's first parent to ever be charged in connection with a mass school shooting carried out by their child. We're talking about the 2021 massacre at Oxford High School. 4 classmates killed by Jennifer Crumbley's then 15-year-old son, Ethan Crumbley. And basically what prosecutors had to argue was one of 2 things. The judge telling the jury, reminding them about these sort of bars to clear yesterday, reminding jurors that either the prosecution had to prove that she was grossly negligent in the way she secured the gun that the couple, both parents, had given to their son leading up to the shooting and secured the ammunition, and that gross negligence, the judge instructing the jury, would have then had to have been the way that Ethan got access to the gun and then allowing him to kill 4 classmates. That was kind of...
What's up? What's up? Another episode, bro. Another episode. Hey, we'll get right into it, man. Your thoughts on this, because I recently seen a woman that was convicted for her child's a mass shooting that just happened or whatever. Right. Well, it didn't just happen, but she got convicted. So my thoughts to you is, should the parents be held accountable for a child's criminal act? And that was a criminal act that he did. He did the mass shooting or whatever, and then she was held accountable for neglect and things of that nature, that she didn't adhere to the signs, and he was trying to reach out and things of that nature.
Or, the judge said, the prosecution had to prove that Jennifer Crumbley effectively declined to fulfill, as she phrased it, her legal duty as a parent in the state of Michigan and exercise what they call reasonable care, protecting other people from being hurt by her child based on what she knew about Ethan's behavior at the time. The entire argument from the prosecution, sort of overarching in this case, is that Jennifer Crumbley ignored mounting red flags about Ethan's mental health, his behavior at the time. He had texted his mom things like he was hearing hallucinations, seeing demons in their house. He had teachers had flagged multiple times that he had been exhibiting violent behavior in class. And on the morning of the shooting, the dean of students at the school and a guidance counselor calling Ethan's parents to the school to say that they had again witnessed more potentially violent behavior, and that on a homework assignment that he had written things like blood everywhere and the thoughts won't stop, help me. So again, the entire case has kind of been from the prosecution side that she had all of this information, and effectively, instead of getting her son help leading up to this shooting, both parents instead bought Ethan a gun, took him to a shooting range, taught him how to shoot, and then failed to secure that gun leading up to the 2021 massacre.
But in general, do you think the parents should be held accountable for what the child does?
Okay, in this situation, 100% yes. Just going off of base of, I paid attention to the court case a little bit. I catch different readings, and she saw something there. She was aware. He did have access to that weapon. She should have gotten him some help, maybe gotten him committed to an institution where he can get some type of service, because he was clearly crying out. But they said in the trial, she was worried about her things, her life. And so she didn't pay attention. She could have prevented that, at least tried to prevent that. So in this case, yes. And now I think it sends a message to people that, hey, you better start paying attention to your kids, especially if you have those kids that's recluse. You don't know what's going on in their bedroom. They could be building and doing anything. Let's look at the history from taking it back to Columbine, and they wasn't paying attention. And look what happened. And now take it to this day and time. So I think it sends a clear message. You better start paying attention to your kids. If your kid is doing something, maybe crying out, but not saying it, I think about shooting the class. I'm drawing pictures, all of these things. It's time for some help.
What if there were no signs like that? I get that's a special case and she just ignored signs. But what if he did it anyway?
Okay.
And this is my devil's advocate for the family or whatever. So let's say you got and you see this all the time, little drive-by shootings and things of that nature, and they done by the youth, and they kill some people. Should the parent be convicted of neglect and not paying attention to that child? Maybe up in Chicago, you know how it happens.
Yes.
And they end up shooting somebody. It don't have to be 2 or 3 people. It can be just one person.
Well, Kane, now we're going into something different because I
How is
do
that
believe
different?
this.
How is that different?
Because we're talking from a mass shooting, and
So
it
you
was
said
communication.
I just said criminal
Okay.
act.
Okay, well, let's go. Okay, criminal act. All right. I do believe this right here, too. And then I question you on this. There are kids that's bad. That's done went by the wayside. That have supporting parents, but the parent don't even know. Does that happen? I believe 100%. And how are you going to fault that parent or put that parent in jail because their son and now even daughter did a drive-by with somebody, was in the car, or participating in some other horrific act, and they didn't know anything about it? It can't be proven.
Bro. You hear
Yes.
what you're saying. So
Yes.
now you're saying you need to prove neglect. That's what you're trying to say?
Kane,
In order
look,
for the child.
we're getting into a new precedence when we're talking about convicting. And let's take it back to this real quick, because I'm thinking about this. Okay, in California, when they had I think Vice President Kamala Harris, that was part of the thing, that take the kid, the parents should go to jail because the kids was skipping school. Well, did the parent know that the kid was skipping school, and they might have got a notice? They might have been called. They might have couldn't get in contact with the parent. But if you have a kid that's bad, that's going by the wayside, are you going to try to beat them in submission? I'm doing everything that I can do. I need help. This kid will not do anything. I'm just saying.
How do you know this? You assuming that this parent is there full time and taking that. You assuming
Do
that,
you
right?
do you think, King, that the parent is condoning the behavior for the kid not going to school or just doing anything?
They are condoning it. They are condoning it with neglect. They're not paying attention, or they have 3 or 4 jobs or whatever, and they can't do it, and they're trying to make it happen, but they're going out there reaching out to other people.
Okay, look.
You see what I'm saying? So do you convict that parent?
Great point, Kane. 2 things I'll add on this. I will ask you: did you ever skip school when you were in your youth?
Yeah.
Should your parent have been convicted or something happened because you skipped school? You chose to skip school. And I know your parent was fine, was good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you that.
So you're asking me, should they be convicted? I just said no.
Okay.
Because if you're gonna do one, you might as well do them all, man. I just said a criminal act. So you saying skipping school is not a criminal act, you know? But killing someone?
Yes, killing someone. But if you again, Kane, do kids get pushed by the wayside? You made the statement.
We know this.
If a parent has 3 or 4 jobs, because we're trying to keep ends meet on the table, and they're not there all the time. But son, you need to look at my example, because I'm working to feed us, to keep a roof up over our head.
We hear that.
I need you to go to school. I want all of this. But he still goes by the wayside.
Yeah, he goes by the wayside.
He does something, and now you want to put the parent in jail? No way. No, I'm not for it. I'm not for it.
What are you saying? It needs to be a trial for the parent, if you're a good parent or not. Is that what you're saying? And that's what happened with this lady. She had a trial for not being a good parent,
and you know,
and she got convicted. So you're saying that needs to happen with all these other things that are going on, even if the parent is not there or not living with the same parent, it's still a parent. They're still responsible for that child. So everybody 100%. Should go down, right?
Look,
the father is going to go down soon. They just did 2 separate cases or whatever. The father's going to go down just like she went down or whatever. Right. So you're saying
he should.
But what are you saying? Like if the child goes by the wayside, then what? If the child go
Okay.
out and does his own at 16, 15, 16, and does his own thing, no matter how much you think, so you're saying, because that's a slippery slope. You got to think about that
Thank
because,
you. It is.
yeah,
You
because
just
if
said
you
it.
saying how can you say that they are not a good parent in a trial?
Kane, all of that, the totality of everything in their life will be on trial. And then it'll be proven they're
How can you do that?
guilty or innocent because the mother's action, the way she parenting, and then her communication with the kid was factual in that trial. So if I had my son and I'm doing these, working all these jobs and everything, like you said, and still trying to be an example of hard work, determination. I don't want this for you, son. I don't want you to have to work like this. But then my son chooses to go out and he get with the wrong crowd and he participates, let's say, in a drive-by, like you stated. And then
You're
if
responsible
he if
still.
he pull, yes,
You're
he
responsible.
if
You
he
need to go
pulls
down
that
too.
trigger, listen, the parent,
Yeah, if you're going to say that for one instance,
we will
you
go
can't say
on
it for all.
trial and then you approve my guilt. That's the good thing about this whole thing. I'm glad you're not the judge, the jury,
Uh,
and the executioner
no.
because I think it'll be
Look.
ridiculous to
Huh.
convict every parent because their kid did something wrong. No
So
way.
so what?
All
So what?
parents are
So
not
is
bad. It
so
could
that's
be
subjective
intellect in
then.
there.
That's subjective.
Yes.
You can say, well, you had
Yes.
two jobs and you should have been home with the child instead of having the child sit at home by themselves and late at night until you got in. I would say that's neglect. You need to go down too. That's
Okay.
subjective.
Well,
Other person
Kane.
is like, well, she had to pay the bills. He had to pay the bills. So that's the reason why he did
Okay.
that. So now you're getting all emotional with that.
Well, all law is subjective, and there you go with this emotional stuff. But
Well,
right
that's what
now,
it would
I
be
say,
for it. That's what it would be.
okay. So let's take it like you just said it. Okay, I'm working two jobs. I'm just saying two. And let's think about being on the West Coast and how much rent is high no matter where you're at now. I don't care East Coast, West Coast. It's
No
high no
excuse.
matter
No excuse.
no
You got
matter
two
where
jobs.
you're at. No, yes,
Let's
yes,
stick with
yes.
that. We're not talking about
Two
you
jobs,
need two jobs to make
and
ends meet.
and I'm a single parent. It can be two parent household, but I'm a single parent. And I have told my son, and I'm giving him all the tools that I know of
Prove it.
to be successful.
Prove it.
To strive, because again, like I said, I don't want you to have to work as hard as I work. Son, I won't be able to be here all the time because
Yeah.
we need a place to stay. We don't
Prove
need
it.
to be
How
on
can
the
you
street.
prove that? How can you prove that?
What you
What you
mean?
just said in a court of law. How can you prove that? That you gave everything you had and did everything you can do and gave you
By
all
the
the tools.
facts, they will see that I had two jobs. They don't see that
So
I have
what?
a criminal past. They see
So
that I'm
what?
doing everything. But you're just gonna try to convict me because he did something wrong. I'm totally against everything that you're saying right now.
I
I
know
just want
you're
that to go
against
into
it.
the fact. So,
Look, I
judge,
know you're
please.
against it. But you were for her to go down because she was
Yes,
a bad parent.
because of the communication. She knew
It's
of
still
things. She knew of things. Oh, did you do this? Why is she texting her son and even asking, did you do this? She was aware that he had something going on within him. So that makes her culpable in my mind. Because I don't think if I had a son, you had a son, it was a mass shooting at the high school, and you're gonna text your son. We'll say, are you okay? We're not gonna say, did you do this? Come on. We know we know our kids. Come on, Kane.
Hey, in the comments, congregation, what do y'all think about this situation? Let us know. Let us know in the
Yeah.
comments, man. Do you think that because if you open the door and you're gonna convict subjectively of a way a parent is parenting, then they will do that for everybody then.
Kane, they
You would
need to
have
do
to
everybody.
just
They
because
would have to look at
you sitting down
everything.
with the child, just because you sitting down with the child and telling them all these other things, you can't prove that. You can just say you did that in court. That's all you can do, right? And then,
Right.
yeah, because you can't prove that. But then he go off and join a gang, do something crazy, and you're not
And then
responsible
just
because you was at your second job. Because you was at your second
okay,
job.
I could be at home with my first job, sir, and we can be out on the streets. But then again, you gonna blame the parent because your circumstances. You allowed yourself to be like that. But I'm trying to turn my life around. So
you can't get it together.
Sir, you cannot have it just your way, the Canaanite way. And I want people to comment on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want them to comment. I want the congregation, if you side more so in the middle, more so Kane, more so Mitch, whatever. But do you?
It's just
I mean,
life is life. When we know better, we do better. We might have messed around.
You'll know better when you go to jail.
That's our fault.
You'll know better when you go to jail.
Overruled. Overruled, sir. You can't handle the truth. That's my dog, though. That's my dog. Hey, go ahead and give us your final thoughts.
Hey,
sir.
man, look, my final thoughts is if you're going to open the door, which they did to convict her, and they're going to probably convict the father too for neglect. That's basically what it is. They're neglecting their child. And some of the other issues that you brought up, the way she texted, the way that she responded to this, the way that she responded to that, I get it. It's bad parenting in general. All of it is, right? And she goes down for it. So what do you do about those mass shootings? What do you do when it comes to those drive-bys and things of that nature? Do you do the same thing for those parents that maybe even in a different household? Hey, you need to be with this child. You see what happened. A lot of people didn't survive from that little shooting that just happened. So my thing is, if you're going to do it for one, since you open the door, you got to do it for all. And that's hard because that's subjective. What are your thoughts?
Parents, pay attention to your kids. I'm glad they enforced this right here, but it's going to go on a case-by-case basis. And that parent their life will be put on trial on how they parented that said kid, okay? So, let's do better in parenting. That's all. Let's do better in parenting. Talk to your kids. I know if you're struggling with 2 and 3 jobs, especially trying to do the right thing, you still gotta find time to be there and be in their lives for real. That's it.
Hey, look, y'all let us know in the comments, man.
It was a lot of passion. I don't want to hit a
Thumbs up.
Canaanites talking about facts over feelings either. Let's go.
You got to do it, bro.
You ready for the
thumbs
smoke?
up and subscribe if you want to, man. I'm telling you, we got more to come. That's the uncomfortable truth. Hey,
let's go. That's my dog, even though he a Canaanite.
For sure. If you don't want to see us, but you want to just listen to us, we on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, all of them.